Thank you so much for bearing with us. This is the first time we have done a hybrid picket, and we're so happy to have everyone here. And we were adjusting to the tech of a hybrid picket, but we are so thrilled to have everyone here for the Ramping Up Disability Hybrid SAG and WGA picket. My name is Jen Kretchmer. I am a white femme person with red wavy hair. I am wearing a black shirt with the SAG-AFTRA logo on it, and I have kind of a magical fairy forest backdrop behind me. I'm at in a desk chair at my desk streaming. We will be going momentarily remotely to the Disney picket, where Angel Giuffria will be hosting from the ground there. But we are so grateful to have everyone with us and to be finding new ways to create accessible pickets and ways to have these conversations. If you are hanging out in our chat, please feel free to throw any questions you have into chat with the word question right at the beginning, and we'll make sure that we get those asked. Anyone we're interviewing, to make sure those questions get asked as well. We will be featuring speakers throughout the conversation today, and this should be a lot of fun. So yeah, let's check out what's happening over at Disney. Angel Giuffria is on the ground at Disney, and I'm going to throw it over to her.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for bearing with us with the tech issues. Thankfully, this will get easier and easier as we go. We appreciate you being here for a remote picket. For anyone who can't be here on the ground, it is quite a sight. There's a huge crowd, quite a lot of visible disabilities, invisible disabilities, awesome people that I've gotten to chat with already. As Jen said, my name is Angel Giuffria. My visual description is a white woman with long dark hair. I have on rose-colored glasses in front of a green bush. I am wearing a black SAG-AFTRA on strike shirt, as well as a pin that says SAG-AFTRA supports WGA. So thank you so much for being here. I do have someone I would love to talk to with a great outfit. I'm gonna bring in our first person that we're gonna chat with. Hi, what's your name?
Hey, I'm BJ Lange. He, him, 6'2", tall white guy, retired Air Force medic, disabled veteran. I'm wearing a blue tutu, a proud SAG-AFTRA on strike t-shirt, and a pair of big knee-high blue socks. Because like most actors, I would rather be in costume than live my regular life.
I love to hear it, and I agree with you totally.
It's true.
So how has your picketing experience been?
Not bad. You know, obviously I'm out here in solidarity. Not only like you, a fellow SAG actor, I'm also a stage equity actor and a member of CWA, the Communication Workers of America, the Association of International Comedy Educators, representing the faculty and staff of the Second City. But more importantly, as I mentioned earlier, I'm a disabled veteran. So I came home from the military with disabilities, and as soon as I saw that the disability picket was going to happen, I knew that that was important. And obviously you and I and many of us that are here today have connected over the Disability Film Challenge with Easter Seals, and I said I have got to be out there because this is our community. So obviously we're out here, as you said, out here at Disney, and there's tons of people out here. It's great, and we're connecting, and there's free snow cones, and there's crepes, and more importantly, there's a community. So if you're watching this and you're a person with a disability, a performer with a disability, you should come out here. Just know that you are represented. This is part of the crew that you never knew you wanted to be a part of, but now we're here.
Well, thank you so much. And also,
thank you.
What does inclusivity mean to you in our community?
I think representation, you know, just as it is for a disabled person, I'm hard of hearing, I wear hearing aids, I have nerve damage, so I kind of have an interesting gait. It's all about accessibility, and that's why inclusion, diversity as far as everyone being included, but certainly inclusion of having us at the table, to have an opportunity to be able to speak. That's what that means for me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Angel.
Great chatting with you. I love your outfit.
Thank you. I'm going to go rock it. Solidarity.
Pick it on.
See you later.
BJ's a great guy. I got a chance to chat with him earlier. There's quite a lot of other people here that we can probably pull out and maybe have a chat with. Is there anyone in the chat that has any questions or any comments, want to see anything? Just let us know. We can move the camera around. We can be mobile. We totally understand that if picketing on site isn't something that you're able to do, we're here to show you what it's like and make this remote picket as accessible as we can.
Yeah, Angel, can you tell us a little bit more about what's going on the ground there? How many people are around? What the energy is like? What people seem to be excited about?
Absolutely. Yeah, the energy here is pretty great. I mean, as a disabled person who's been out on the picket line before, seeing so many different types of disabilities, visible disabilities represented right now is actually really, really cool. We have quite a lot of wheelchair users, quite a lot of people using different mobility aids. We have a lot more masks than I usually see, which is great.
Awesome.
We've been encouraging everyone here on the ground to be more inclusive of the community that may be immunocompromised as well as the surge. So we're trying to point out that masking is the safest thing that you can do right now, which has been great. We have quite a lot of people masking, which is nice. Let's see, what else do we have? We have snow cones, like we said. We have less honking than usual right now, which is good for our stream, but earlier we had quite a bit of honking. Actually, Crystal, are you interested in being interviewed on the live stream? Are you interested in being interviewed? Sure. Yeah, come on over. Welcome to the live stream.
I thought they were like, just come move on the
Yeah, no
sidewalk.
worries. If you're totally making sure you're interested. So we have the sight line is right there.
I might pull around.
Yeah, so right now we have Crystal Rivers with us, who is, I'm going to allow to introduce themselves and give you their visual description as well as announce their pronouns.
Hi, I am Crystal Rivers, she, they. I am wearing a white SAG-AFTRA t-shirt, a blue hat, and I have a SAG-AFTRA strike sign, and I'm in a wheelchair.
Yes.
How's that?
So great to see you.
Good to see you too.
How do you feel about the energy out here and coming out to the cross-union WGA SAG-AFTRA picket?
I mean, this is amazing. I was out when the writers first started striking, and I was on the picket lines then, and I haven't been able to make it, because of health stuff, out to an actual like SAG-AFTRA strike. This energy that is being brought with all of these unions meeting together,
yes.
it's just incredible.
I'm so happy to see
It
you.
actually feels like we have like power, you know?
Right? It's so great when there's so many of us around and we actually feel represented.
Exactly.
I love how you have your sign on your mobility device. So cool.
Thank you. I have to remember to keep shutting it off because I'm gonna need to recharge.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, so how has the picket and the strike affected you as a disabled person? What do you think are some of the proposals that are going to impact you the most? Residuals, health insurance?
Oh yeah. Okay, so it's a lot to unpack, but
yeah.
Okay, so for me, mostly it's about the streaming residuals. Affects me the most. I know that before we could actually make a living as guest stars on different shows, and now we kind of do these weekly buyouts, and we don't get paid the same residuals when it's on streaming, and it could be on there for years and years and years.
Right.
And
yes.
you know, you risk all this overexposure, but you're not getting compensated for it. So
absolutely.
And it's crazy. People think they moved to Hollywood, and you know, this person must be making $1 million. They're on all these different things, and you know, it's definitely.
It's been pretty like sobering in the idea of people realizing how much we're really making off of streaming residuals versus broadcast residuals.
Exactly.
And you're right. The general public really, I think, doesn't have as much of an idea what that means. So.
Well, I know, and to earn our SAG. Speaking early, haven't had coffee. To earn our SAG health insurance now, it is $26,000. So to realize that most of our union doesn't make enough to earn health insurance, I think has been what's eye-opening to all the teachers union, the hotel union.
Yes.
Other people are realizing, hey, like these actors, we think they make all this money, but maybe they're just like us. We're all just trying to eat food and survive in this
I think
town.
the percentage, correct me if I'm wrong, is 80% of SAG-AFTRA members do not meet the health insurance criteria. And I think people hearing that was really eye-opening. Also, the membership hearing that was really eye-opening. We're like, hey, wait a second.
Yeah. Oh, it's not just me not earning health insurance this year, you know, like.
So a much lighter question. What made you want to get into being a creative?
Oh my goodness.
I like to say that's a lighter question. We'll see.
Yeah, I know, right? Art usually comes from kind of a dark place, but I actually have always been. I was a gymnast. I used to travel and compete and do gymnastics, and when I couldn't do that anymore, I got into I became very shy and withdrawn from the world, and I didn't really know how to function going to school as a normal kid, not leaving for gymnastics practice 6 hours a day, and. My friend was like, you know, you should do theater. I was terrified. I was like sick to my stomach. I vomited to say one line on stage. And then by 16, I loved it. I just loved the creative environment. I'd been writing plays and stuff like that in high school. And then I had the opportunity to move to LA as a dancer, and I did like High School Musical dance along and hit the ground running, it's been nonstop ever since. And then when I became disabled, I actually started writing. And
so are you a dual member of both unions, or?
I'm not in the WGA yet.
Okay.
Hopeful. Pre-member.
Yeah,
Pre-member.
right.
Putting it out there. But no, so when I saw that they had like the Triumph Foundation and all these foundations for writers, I was like, I'm glad. I'm so happy that there are all these opportunities and events for us to like meet and build a community, because I felt so alone when I became disabled, and so it's like to have this creative outlet and energy, and I just realized I'm rambling on a tangent, but yeah.
Well, what made you think, when you brought up the fact of disability and working in theater and different things like that, what was the first time that you felt you saw yourself represented on screen, or have you felt that way?
I honestly still haven't felt that way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
the hope, right? To be the representation we haven't seen yet.
Yeah. When I started writing, I actually was like realizing we got so used to the tropes of two-parent households, these families, that just are not realistic. And so that was kind of the first thing that got me into writing. And as I was realizing, like, we accept these tropes, but then we also accept that in every movie that has a disability, someone's going to heal, magically get better, and then voila, happy. But why does that have to be the happy ending? Like,
right.
Why do you have to? And I think becoming disabled over a few year, like, it wasn't fast for me. It's been chronic illness and going. I kept thinking ableistly for like the first year, I'm gonna get better. I was going to PT 3 times a week. I'm like, why am I doing everything right, training, strengthening my body, and I'm not healing?
Well, that's what the media tells us, right?
But
all their narratives are about this get better, stop being disabled, kind of.
Eat the right things, do the juicing, don't take medication, do this, don't do that. And it's like, you don't realize there's this whole group of people that would do anything to just be included in society. And yes, we've all tried all of that. Like,
yes. What a great example of why representation of all types is important to be shown, so people can actually see themselves adequately represented, know that it's real.
Yes.
Know that life like this is something that happens. People would stop saying, "Oh, you're so brave," or "We're sorry," because they know this is a normal life and that people live it.
And not every story or role in a wheelchair needs to be someone got in an accident and now it's tragic. It's like, no, we're doctors, we're lawyers, we do all the same jobs as everybody else. We just happen to present a little differently.
Absolutely. Jen, is there any questions in the chat or any comments that you have for Crystal here?
I would love to know what really, what do you think are the things that during the strike are the most important in terms of protecting and benefiting disabled creators?
What are some things in terms of the strike that you think are most important in protecting and benefiting disabled creators? The things that we're striking for, like, what do you think could protect us or benefit us the most?
So I think,
I know we talked about residuals for health insurance, or the future of the industry even.
I think, here's the thing, I try to explain to people, AI is here, it's not going anywhere. We need to learn to work with it. And also, AI, CGI has been taking jobs away from people with disabilities for decades, and a lot of people don't realize that. It's
absolutely.
But they pay an arm and a leg to have Bill Fichtner's legs not move.
But
and Mom. Oh my gosh. Ableist phrase.
Is a great example, right?
But
the bad match. We were talking about amputees, just removing limbs.
When you could easily go to the community and cast someone authentically. And you see it. When you have a disability, you see when it's not real on a screen.
It doesn't look right.
You know when it doesn't and then people get nominated, and it's like, come on. But
great. Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thank
Crystal.
you.
Thank you so much for being here.
So good to
exciting
see you.
to have you. Let's look around. Jen, who can I grab and see if we can do an interview? Hi! Would you be interested in being interviewed on a live stream?
Get my sign up, I guess.
Yeah, love the sign. Okay, great. Hi, what is your name? What is your visual description and your pronouns?
Rick Howland, bald, short-statured, and he, him.
Okay, great. You're a member of SAG-AFTRA?
I am.
And how's your picketing experience been?
Been good. I went to Paramount last week. I got to kind of space it out a bit, the feet and the legs.
Right, absolutely.
Start to get sore. So.
Which is nice being at the disability picket, I feel like, and seeing so many other people that may have similar problems,
For sure. I mean, like-minded people. We all like to hang out with like-minded people.
Absolutely.
Or physically abled people.
Yeah.
But it's also nice to see everyone else as well.
Yeah,
Because
right?
we need the allies.
Yes,
right?
for sure.
Our
So-
voices aren't loud enough. We need everybody else's voices as well.
That's a great point. We're talking about inclusivity in the industry. Is there anything that you feel like would make the industry more inclusive from your point of view? Within proposals, within the strike?
Oh, well, I think we just need to we as a group need to be a louder voice and really hold on to the term inclusion. Because it gets messed up with other terms that are also equally important, but we need a clear standpoint.
Yeah.
We need a good slogan. We need a slogan, you know?
A good slogan. If anyone in the chat wants to come up with a good slogan,
Yeah,
it's
there you
definitely
go.
what we need.
You know.
If we have do you have any questions from the chat that we can ask?
Oh,
Are you asking me or are you asking
I'm
them?
asking them live. Thanks so much.
Okay, yeah.
If
We
you have
don't,
anything
but
to talk about, I mean,
if chat has
what-
questions,
What
please.
made you want to get into being a creative in general?
Well,
Too big?
well, no. I mean, okay. Early in high school, I needed to take an art credit to graduate, and I sucked at drawing, so I took acting. And a friend of mine who was the jock clique back when we had cliques when I was in high school,
Right.
too long ago to mention. He said, "Oh man, take drama. It's easy. You just like pretend to be a cloud, and you get an A." So I was like, okay, that sounds easy enough. So I took drama, and we did an exercise where you look at a ball in your hand, and you visualize the ball, and you throw the ball out the window, and you watch it bounce down the street. So we all did that exercise, and we all had our eyes closed and everything. And then the teacher said, okay, everyone stop. Now, Rick, do it again, and everyone watch Rick. And I closed my eyes, and the room I saw the first time, the ball that was in my hand was gone. I was too nervous because everyone was looking at me, right? So I had to kind of like remind myself and go through that process of saying, okay, I had a ball in my hand, I looked down at the ball, it had a red and white and blue stripe on it, and I looked out the window and I threw the ball out the window and I moved my head. And so in that very first acting class, I realized later on, after reading Stanislavski and stuff, that I had felt the internal first, and then I had to work from the outside in second.
Right.
And that muscle memory of like calling that muscle memory up. And so after that, and having all of my peers watch me do something, and it be accepted,
Right.
and like to be stared at with respect,
Right.
is much more empowering than to be stared at and pointed at in the mall. Say.
What I love about acting classes, or any type of being on set, being on stage, is you have permission to fail, right? And when people fail big, you're like,
Totally.
the grave.
Yeah.
Watching someone fail big, I'm like, they went for it, right? And
Yeah.
that's so much respect, and like that they committed, they did the work. That things don't work sometimes.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I started out doing improv, and so there's lots of room for failure there.
Yeah.
And but we did well in our group. In Canada, there's the Canadian Olympics, improv Olympics, and all schools they build a team, and then you go and you compete regionally and then nationally. And we made it to the regionals a couple of years. We had the biggest trophy in our high school, the trophy display thing, and it was cool. It was cool.
Last thing I'm gonna ask you: how long have you been a member of SAG-AFTRA?
Since 2017, although I've been an actor in Canada.
Right.
Since you were 5, probably.
Well, thank you so much for chatting with me. I think we're going to bring in some speakers to talk. And
Excellent.
The energy here has been awesome, and thank you so much for coming out.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Okay, everyone, I think we're about to start bringing in our speakers. We're going to have Vice Chair of the Writers Guild. We're going to have one of the members of the negotiating committee for SAG-AFTRA, possibly some others. So bear with us for a moment when we transfer over and grab some of these voices.
So we're going to show off a little bit of what's going on at the picket lines, a little bit more as we set up for the speakers. Just a reminder, if you have questions, feel free to ask them in chat while we get a little bit of a better view of what's happening there. As well, if you'd like to donate right now to support the strike, there are a number of different strike funds happening. The Entertainment Community Fund is the main place that we have been asking people to donate to help support everyone in the industry who's being affected by the strike. As well, there is the Green Envelope Fund, which is helping folks get groceries. And if you are enjoying having virtual and hybrid events, please let us know. We're going to be throwing some links in chat that will send you to a place where you can give some feedback about this event and stay signed up for future hybrid events and continue to let folks know that this is something we want to keep going and help support this so we can continue to have the tools we need to create accessible and hybrid events moving forward. So again, today we are at the SAG-AFTRA and WGA hybrid strike event for ramping up disability representation. The Disabilities Creatives Together event at Disney Studios and from home. We're so happy everyone is here, and thank you so much for joining us and being part of this. This is the first ever hybrid picket line we've had, and we're so happy to have folks with us and joining us, and we're hoping that we can continue to do these kinds of events moving forward and create ways where folks can join us, whether it's for access needs or because you are home with kids or just couldn't get to the strike lines that day or don't do well in heat, whatever the reason may be. There are lots of ways that accessibility benefits everyone. And as we move forward in the future of this industry, creating new pathways to access and ways for folks to participate and new ways for the industry to be inclusive is so important. So yeah, we're thrilled to have everyone with us and to be having an event like this today, and that we've been able to have this kind of energy between the guild and the support from everyone who has been supporting the guilds through the strike. It's been so wonderful, and we are so appreciative of those that support and the allyship from the whole industry and from folks at large. It's been incredible. Again, if you have questions, please feel free to put them into chat. Angel and I will be hopefully talking a bit more about access in the industry and our experiences. But right now it looks like we're getting ready to go to our speakers on the ground at Disney. And so we are switching over there, I believe. Angel, are we switching? Are we ready to get started with our speakers? We'll have a few different speakers, I believe. We do have interpreters. Yes.
We are almost ready.
Jamey's gonna talk, and I'm gonna talk. Francis is gonna talk with bring us home because he's the OG.
Okay, it'll just be one moment. We're waiting on one of our speakers to finish another interview, so it should be just a second. But we will be getting going very, very shortly on these speeches.
Other way.
Oh, am I doing it the wrong way?
I think so.
Is it this way?
Yes,
I had to get the
That's why
actor
you're a writer and I'm an actor.
Exactly. Hey guys, thanks so much for coming.
And again, we want to thank everyone who
we
made
would
this
love to say a few words. Some of the
possible.
leadership of our two guilds would love to talk. My name is Jamey Perry. I am the vice chair of the Disabled Writers Committee at the WGA. I am a white woman in a blue Writers Guild of America West t-shirt and shorts and a white wheelchair. I just wanted to say a few things. Some of this will be speaking to the choir. Some of you, my disabled peeps, will have already heard these things, but it's for everyone. Even closer? All right.
There you go.
That close?
Yep.
Woo! I'm touching it.
Much better.
All right,
Touch
so
it with your lips, baby.
making love to the microphone. Okay, so disabled people make up 25% of the U.S. population, and we are less than 1% of the Writers Guild. Obviously, we know that the only possible reason for that would be systemic ableism. Otherwise, to believe otherwise would be to say that disabled people can't write or we don't have stories to tell, and we know that's bullshit. Primarily because the Hollywood tells our stories all the time and gives themselves Oscars for them. They love to tell our stories, but they love to tell them in a way that makes them feel good about themselves. And we have a word for that, or an expression for that. What do we call that? Does anyone know? Inspiration porn. Because when we tell our stories, oftentimes the non-disabled world is not the hero. they're the villain. What do you call it when a society erects impossible barriers and then cheers for us when we somehow make it over and calls us an inspiration? It's not inspiring, it's sadistic. So let's talk about the state of play for disabled writers in Hollywood. Why are we so ridiculously far from parity? Well, there are a couple things. What are some of the ways that historically marginalized groups get into this industry? Right? You might have a diversity hire. Now, I know that's a dumpster fire that a lot of writers have been hurt by, but the disabled community is in the position of just begging to be invited to the dumpster fire. As for fellowships, that's another way that people break in. I know things have changed a little bit in the last few years, and I know places like the Inevitable Foundation have disability-specific fellowships. But for the most part, these fellowships do not consider disability to be part of their diversity metric. That's a problem. And even the fellowships that give lip service to disability, if they were serious about changing the numbers of Hollywood writers in LA, then they would be pumping out disabled writers from these fellowships, and they are just not. So the other way that we get in, everybody says, go the assistant route. Have you ever tried to get hired as a PA in a wheelchair? I've done it. Many of us are capable of doing it, but it shouldn't be a requirement for the job of writing to be able to, carry 12 lunches up 4 flights of stairs. So why does any of this matter? And particularly if you're not disabled, why should you care? Well, first of all, we're humans. Just like the non-disabled world around us, we have the same thoughts and feelings, and we deserve to be a part of this cultural conversation. And if altruism is not your game, that's fine. You might not be disabled today, but you might be in an hour. That's not a threat. It always sounds like a threat when I say it, but it's not. Or someone you love could be disabled. And, age comes for us all. If you live long enough, you become disabled. The only way to avoid that is to die young, which seems like a really extreme solution. I don't recommend it. So I often think about how we make the world a better place for other people. For the longest time, they did not have access to the beaches in LA County. And then 2 summers ago, they laid down a blue beach mat that goes almost to the water and has allowed me to go to the beach with my family. The first day we showed up, who do you think was using the beach mat? Fucking everyone. Because nobody likes to walk across hot sand. People got their strollers, they've got their coolers, people with knee braces. So this is a way in which society's ableism gets in their own way. We all move in and out of states of ability and disability. I always say, if you catch me at the grocery store and I need something up high, you might be the able-bodied one, but come with me to the skate park and we'll see about that. So what can you do about it? The first and most important thing is hire disabled talent. And not as consultants. We love consultants, and consultants have their place, but not every disabled writer is a consultant, and vice versa. And what consultants don't get is credits, residuals, and a career out of it. So
health insurance.
Health insurance. That's a great point, David. And then hire disabled assistants if you can. Get us on that first rung of the ladder. Like I said, most of us can do the job if you just think outside of the box. And the other thing is, the best person to ask if they can do the job is the disabled person. Just ask them. Start the conversation about accommodations early and often. Don't make them bring it up. And then lastly, hey, come to our committee meetings once the strike is over. We've got meetings once every 2 months, and we heart allies. Now, that was very WGA specific because I'm only SAG eligible. But my friend Nicole here has some words to say as well.
I can hold, or you got it? Hi guys, before I speak, actually, Ms. Frances Fisher, who has been an amazing champion on the picket lines every single day and has been fighting in our union leadership for, well, only 5 years because she's only 25.
Closer.
I know. But actually, she's been fighting for us for a really long time, and she does have to leave, so I'm going to have her say a few words before I do.
Yeah, thank you, Nicole. My sister in the negotiating room with SAG-AFTRA, right here.
Aww.
Yeah, I've got to go to a board meeting at noon, so I'm going to have to leave, but I just want you guys to hear something. 25% of the population has a disability of some kind, and only 3% are reflected in the material, the scripted material that is put out by places I won't mention. And out of that, you said only what?
1 to 2% of that 3% is played by an actual disabled actor.
So if you look at the pie chart, they're not even in it. They're crumbs around the edge on the table. So that has to change. And I'm standing proudly with this group. My friend forever, Eileen Grubba, will speak to you later, but here we go back to Nicole.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, my love. Hold on 1 second, everybody.
You need to go, you can go. I love you. Or you can stay.
I'll keep Frances here as long as I can, but I know she's got to go. So as we're all saying, we are 25% of the population. 25%. We are 3% of scripted characters, and less than 1 to 2% of that are played by disabled actors. Why? Why aren't we in the room? Why aren't we called in for roles where disability doesn't even matter? We're not considered. They'll say to us, well, it's not on the page. So what? We exist in this world. We exist as normal, everyday people that you see everywhere you go, but you don't see us on the screen. When we are marginalized to inspirational porn, then you see me walking the picket line and you come up to me and say, you're doing so good. I have been told that multiple times. I know those lovely people who are expressing that sentiment are doing that because they literally think that's what we need to hear, because that's all you see on screen. You know what? You're doing so good too. If you're not disabled and you're walking the picket line, congratulations. You're doing so good. You're doing so good. I'm inspiring, she said. Yay. So we need to be in the writer's room. We need to be on the screens, because when we are shown in our authentic selves, and some of us are assholes. when we are shown authentically, then we are seen and recognized, and then the world knows how to treat us. And you know how that is? Like we're just like everybody else. There is a saying in our community, I'll clean it up, play a disabled person, get an Oscar. We use our own terms for that. But the reality is that's what they do. They make stories about our community to make you feel something deep in your heart. And that actor has played something deeply. Look, I'm an actor. Frances is a brilliant actor. Eileen's a brilliant actor. Bret's a brilliant actor. We're all brilliant actors.
eligible.
Jamey's a brilliant actor. We're all brilliant actors. We can play anything, right? But guess what? We can't get in the room. We're not given auditions. It's not that we're just not as good as everybody else. Oh, the hell we aren't. We need to be let in the room. Audition us. See us. I guarantee you we will win those roles too.
And that room should have an elevator.
And that room should have an elevator. Damn straight. Oh my God, I went to see a play and somebody had to offer to carry me up the steps. Just saying. Anyway, so we're out here today in solidarity with our entire creative community. We're out here today as disabled artists showing that if we can coordinate this, if we can live stream an event, anyone can. And on the greater scale, those people on the other side of the fence, they didn't count on this, did they? They didn't count on the camaraderie the actors and writers would find on the picket line because we don't get to spend this much time together. They didn't count on that. And when they look at performers with disabilities, as you've heard the numbers, and those of you who are in this community know, we don't get a lot of auditions, we don't get a lot of opportunity to work. So we already know how to not be homeless as actors. So they can try to strike us out and make us get homeless, but they have met an immovable wall. Because no one is stronger than this group of performers right here, actors and writers together. So we're gonna have some other people talk, but let's all remember, one day longer, one day stronger! Damn straight. Okay, all right, Jamey wants to say one thing, we're gonna keep this going. I don't want to slow things down. I just want to mention that there is a QR code on the table over there. You can scan and sign a virtual guest book, and you can also give us suggestions for future strikes. That's it. So right now I want to introduce an actor named Bret Green, who may have been doing a play that was up a lot of steps. But it was a brilliant play, and I think he has some really important things for you guys to hear.
What's up, guys? I'm Bret Green. I am one of those able-bodied actors who played a character with a disability. I was cast back in 2015. I didn't realize 8 years ago the harm that might have to a certain community. And so I am one of those actors. When I booked this role, I thought this could be a career-changing role. I get to dive into this role that's nothing like me. This is my Charlize Theron and Monster moment where I get to completely transform myself. I didn't realize how ignorant that kind of was at the time. And so I'm just here standing in solidarity with these performers with disabilities. I think that they should have a chance to get in the room and continue to show off their amazing abilities. I'm just happy to be a part of this. I brought my shame and my guilt with me.
Work it out, work it out.
This is therapy for me. No, this is fantastic. Thank you guys all so much for being here and continue to support these performers with disabilities. And everybody have a great day. Hopefully this strike doesn't go on for too much longer. But stay cool, have fun, and we'll see you guys on set. Yeah, thank you so much. I gotta get going. I appreciate it. It's good to see you. Yeah, nice to meet you guys.
And now he's off to his kit. I'd like to ask Eileen Grubba to come up. You know, I'm the chair of the Los Angeles Local Performers with Disabilities Committee, and I failed at doing this. I'm a Middle Eastern woman wearing a white SAG-AFTRA hat that says Negotiating Committee, a white SAG-AFTRA Strong shirt, and some blue, well, they're Spanx shorts, let's be honest. They're from Spanx, they're comfortable, and I love that.
To say that?
I don't care. I'm going to give the full audio description. Eileen has been fighting this fight in our community for a very long time, so I'd like her to say a few words.
Will you give my audio description since you're so good at it?
Ooh.
Eileen is a white woman with blonde curly hair just to her shoulders, wearing a teal cowboy hat, a black SAG-AFTRA on strike shirt with a fist in the air logo, a sticker that says, I went to the WGA SAG-AFTRA disability picket, and all I got was this sticker.
And a stunning smile.
And a stunning smile. Eileen?
Hi everyone, my name is Eileen Grubba. I have been in the battle for disability inclusion in this industry for 3 decades. For more than a decade, I've been on our National Performers with Disabilities Committee at our union, SAG-AFTRA. I'm now on the local committee, thanks to the magnificent Nicole Cyrille, who made that mountain move. I'm also on the executive committee for performers at the TV Academy. I've been in the Actors Studio for nearly 3 decades. I've won over 50 awards for my work. I still almost never make my health insurance. I think that's important for people to understand. For some reason, we seem to not be able to accept a female with a visible disability. Why is that? Why is it so hard to imagine a girl having scars or a limp or something like that? Why do women have to be held to an unrealistic expectation? We're not allowed to age, we're not allowed to have scars, we're not allowed to move or function differently. Why is that? I think it's oppressive to all women around the entire world, and we have to shatter that illusion of perfection in our industry. I'm grateful to every human being out there who ever took a stand, who had the courage to include someone with a real challenge, because you know what? We have a different perspective on things throughout all of life. When you grew up in a wheelchair and were paralyzed as a child, as I was, and went through dozens of surgeries and cancer because of all of it, you kind of have a different perspective on life. When you're willing to keep getting up and fighting and standing up for everyone's rights, it's a little heartbreaking when so few people have the courage to stand up for your rights. It's heartbreaking. I am among the many who lost our health insurance over the last 3 years because our medical exemptions weren't even honored. The truck companies lied about honoring disability exemptions with the return to work agreement. That ended careers mostly in the disabled community, and people like me lost critical health insurance. And everybody says, oh, just get the public health insurance. Guess what that doesn't get you? It doesn't get you to the doctors who keep you alive. It doesn't get you the medical supplies you need. You have to fight for every single thing and start all over with doctors when you don't make your health insurance. I think it's disgusting that we have a multi-billion-dollar industry that refuses to hire people because there's something different about them. You know what you're missing out on? Gold.
Yeah.
You're missing out on all those trophies you want on your shelf. Because the reality is, different life experience, emotions that have a much larger range than the average human being, that's what you get with disability inclusion, because we've had to face so much adversity in our lives, not just physically, but in society and everywhere we go. I remember being a 5-year-old who went from being treated like everyone else to disabled and suddenly being treated like a freak. That's unacceptable. And the reason I continue to fight this battle as hard as it's been in our industry is because I can't go through life knowing that another child will ever be treated like that in their lifetime. Every child has the same hopes and dreams. Every adult has the same hopes and dreams. If you ended up disabled tomorrow, you'd still be the same person, and you'd still have hopes and dreams and extensive life experience to share. So I'm urging all of you to have the courage and the creativity to find a way to include those of us who've been in the trenches battling for inclusion for decades. Don't be afraid to include us. Write disability in a way where we can cast it. Don't write it so painfully specific that we cannot find those actors. Write it in a way that a person with a disability who has the life experience can be included in that role. That's all I'm asking, and I am grateful to every single one of you who has been out here fighting and picketing, because the struck companies are the ones keeping us all out of work right now. I think everybody's starting to feel the pain of no income, and as Nicole said, we're good at it. We've been starving for decades. We don't want to do it anymore. We love you all, we appreciate the work you do, and we're looking forward to seeing a much more creative, inclusive industry when all of this is over. So let's keep going one day longer. One day stronger. Thank you.
No, it's okay. All right, guys, we're gonna have a little treat from our mayor of Burbank. We're just moving around for the live stream.
If you don't follow him on Twitter, you should. It's a good
There
follow.
you go. Go for it. It's a good follow, really.
Good morning, everyone. How we doing in Burbank today?
Loving it.
It's all right.
My name is Constantine Anthony. I am a middle-aged Greek man with a tan worthy of a 4-month strike. I'm wearing a red and black Writers Guild hat and a red T-shirt that says "Emotional Support Human. Do not pet." I can't tell you the number of times that disabled actors have been asked to portray non-disabled characters. That's the demand of us walking into the room for many auditions, and yet at the same time so many disabled parts are fought over, vied after. Every single major Hollywood actor has their agent clamoring to get into these key disabled roles because they're chasing that Oscar gold. They're looking for that wonderful, meaty role that's gonna, shoot them into the echelons.
They're monster.
They're monster, yeah. I'm the first diagnosed autistic mayor in the country. But movies like Rain Man, like What's Eating Gilbert Grape, these films that win prizes, that win the hearts and minds of folks across the country, have been devastating to individuals in the autistic community. There are a number of movies like this for any type of disability you can list. And it creates harm while at the same time promoting itself as a feel-good film or a feel-good TV show. The change that we've seen in the last couple of years, the pushback that we have seen from the disabled community in the industry has reaped benefits. And when we look at other industries, for example, politics, where we don't see a lot of people with disabilities at higher representation.
Oh, don't forget Greg Abbott.
Oh, yes, Greg Abbott. Oh, my God. We have to remember that film and television and media, this changes the narrative for most Americans. We move the needle by telling our stories. And so if we can do it in our industry, what we do is create a system-wide change across the country, across the world, where we show that we're just like everybody else. We would deserve representation in every single industry out there, and we can slowly but surely change the people who are representing us, not just on screen, but also in our local government, the people who are running our businesses, the people who are teaching our children. All of these roles are critical, and it starts with that on-screen representation. When you're at home and you flip on that television, what are you going to see? What is your connection to that media, and what are the stories that you're learning about? So I'm so grateful for all of you folks coming out today and putting this together. This is such a genius idea. I love that you put this together. We're going to keep moving on. We got some more folks to talk.
I know. Guys, we just have a quick gentleman popped up, and he is relevant to making a quick 15-second comment. Here we go.
Hi folks, my email is Brian Binkley Help, BrianBinkley Help. I worked in social work for a very long time. I've also worked on 82 different TV shows and movies. When COVID happened, this is what I did. I'm on the picket line every day, not to picket, but to let you guys know about the supportive services. So Eileen, please come see me. I've known her for 10 years, that's the homie. Anybody that needs any help, that's not just the folks here, anybody, commercial workers, music video workers, social workers. There is a lot going on right now that a lot of people don't know about that is available. The Department of Consumer and Business Affairs, they do tenant protections. They will help you not get kicked out of your apartment. I don't want to get in trouble for saying, I think there's going to be some money popping up here soon that we usually get. I'm a disabled veteran. I did many years in Iraq and Afghanistan. I don't stop helping just because I'm not in Iraq anymore. I'm here for all of you. I'm part of this community. I'm an alumni of many of these organizations. I'm here for you. I'm not part of a union. I'm just here helping y'all. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Brian.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming out. My name is Alan Toy, and in 1980, I had my first SAG job on MASH, and I played a wounded soldier. About that time, I was one of the founders, along with Terry Susan Hartman, of the Screen Actors Guild Performers with Disabilities Committee. About 15 years into my career, I realized I couldn't sustain a living, even though I had dozens and dozens of roles. I was not getting the kind of ongoing employment that was necessary to raise a child. So I left the industry. And I raised a child, I got another job, I got a master's degree in urban planning, and I have a pension, a really good one, from UCLA. It's 5 times what my SAG pension is. And I put more years into SAG than I did into UCLA. But I recently, when I retired, went back to acting. And one of my most recent jobs was playing a president. So I went from a wounded soldier to a president. That's progress, right? Yeah. Except that was the only president we've had who has a disability. But at least when I played Franklin Roosevelt on the NBC production of Annie, it wasn't John Voight or Ralph Bellamy or, somebody else doing that. It was a person who actually had the same disability as the president.
Wow.
So I thought, okay, that's progress. Now, MASH has paid me over the years, 40 some years, at least $150 to $300 a year in residuals.
Wow.
When the first residual for streaming came from Annie a couple of years ago, I got this actually in March, 1 cent. 1 cent. This, my brothers and sisters, is why we strike. 1 cent residuals do not pay the rent. 1 cent residuals do not pay the rent. 1 cent residuals do not pay the rent. Thank you, brothers and sisters. 1 day longer.
1 day stronger.
Thank you, Alan. You're amazing is the word. You're an inspiration. You're an inspiration. Everyone here is an inspiration. All right, guys, we have taken up your time talking for long enough. I'm just going to take a moment to say thank you to all of you who came out today, part of the community and allies. Okay. Oh, we have another. And thank you to our speakers. Thank you to the other chair of the committee that I chair, Mr. Jack Patterson. who's over there not talking but is amazing, and I couldn't do without him. And thank you to the incredible team of writers at WGA and their Writers with Disabilities group, who really, we put this together, but my gosh, guys, they did so much work. So I want to say thank you to them just from all of us. And now I'm going to pass the mic to one of them so they can say some more thank yous. Thank you, guys.
Hi, everybody. I'm David Radcliffe, co-chair of the Disabled Writers Committee at the Writers Guild of America West. We are so grateful that so many people showed up, allies and friends and disabled folks in all different communities. Thank you so much for being here. I want to specifically underscore how some of this event was put together, because I think there is a unfortunate misunderstanding that disability and productivity are inversely related, and that could not be further from the truth. We did everything we could to make this as equitable a space as possible, not only with various food options, but also, I think most specifically, with the live stream. This is the first, not only is this a unified event of the SAG and Writers Guild Disability Committees, it's the first to have a captioned real-time live stream of the event so that folks that can't be here in person can still participate. Because as has been mentioned by others in this group up here, this is a fight that touches every industry. I was recently at an event in Little Rock where someone from the Steelworkers Union came up to me when I had my Writers Guild shirt on, and they said, "We're watching you really closely. Thank you so much for all you're doing." Wow. So their fight is our fight. Every teacher, every steelworker, everybody, nurses, everyone, flight attendants, tenants. This is a fight that's going to swallow us whole if we don't all fight back together. Yep. And I want to underscore that this live stream was put together, initially sparked by a 2 a.m. Twitter conversation, because a lot of exciting stuff is happening on Twitter among the disabled community. And so I want to shout out Jennifer Kretchmer and Sarah Ann Massey, who tweeted at me and said it'd be great if this space was more virtual in addition to being physical. And so in rapid time, we put together a little team. I want to specifically shout out Greg Bjorkman, who did an incredible job making this live stream happen. He's the guy in the sun hat over here. We should all get hired after this. I want to thank Jen Kretchmer and Angel Giuffria for hosting the live stream, turning it into an amazing additional event on top of this event. I want to thank sponsors including Vince Gilligan and Barbara K. Friend, who sponsored the live stream, and food trucks and a lot of the other amenities that you see here today. We want to thank our friends at the Think Tank for Inclusion and Equity, of which I am a proud member. We want to thank Lot Captain Catherine Beatty, who is a member of our Disabled Writers Committee as well. Thank you all so much. The photographers that have been here and at every strike, J.W. Hendricks among them. This is really awesome to have everybody here. I'm going to go take a nap after this, but we're all feeling great, so thank you so much.
That's it. We're done. Go away.
You may go eat now.
David, do we want to do a group photo? Yeah.
Sorry? Yes.
She can have the sign.
The audio is cutting.
Amazing. Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
On SAG, and hopefully next time we will be able to have that conversation. Since today, unfortunately, our tech was getting cranky on us, but we'll hopefully be able to make that conversation happen very soon for everyone. We're hoping to continue these conversations online and these hybrid pickets so that we can continue having these discussions and talking to other members of our community and keeping everyone who wants to be involved in these conversations involved. So again, before we wrap up, I want to thank everyone who has been on site on the ground through the duration of the strike so far. We're very, very grateful to everyone who organized today's picket from SAG and from the WGA. Thank you so much to everyone on our team who was able to get this hybrid event together so incredibly quickly and worked so hard to make it happen. Thank you to our tech team, to our mods, to our sponsors, our incredible sponsors who made this possible. Thank you so, so much. Please check out the pinned link if you enjoyed having this event. Please let us know. Sign up for future events through the link that is in chat. We will have more information about future events as soon as we can, and please donate to support the strike fund and help everyone who has been continuing to strike for a fair contract through the WGA and through SAG as we continue on in our quest for a fair deal. Thank you so much, everyone.